Hey guys, good to see you all again. I'm not able to see you all, but I hope everybody can see me. So, everybody is doing good. How's life? How's your studies going on? Okay, fine. So, let me not take much time. See, students, we will continue with the process of solving the model question papers. Okay, this is my video lecture 4 on the model question paper 1. Okay, yeah. See, in video lecture 1, we finished 1 mark questions. In part 2, we finished 2 mark questions. In part 3, we have finished 3 mark questions of inorganic chemistry. Now, here comes part D, wherein we will concentrate fully on the questions of physical chemistry. Okay? Yes. Straight away, let's jump into part D. Okay? Yes, guys. Everything we have finished up to part C. So hope you are practicing the same way as I have written the answers, strictly according to scheme of evaluation. So now students, part D. Again, you'll have 5 questions here guys, but you need to answer only 3 questions. Okay? Each question carries 5 marks. Basically students, we don't have one full 5 mark questions in our chemistry. We don't have it. You don't get any question for full 5 marks. You'll always have subdivisions in each question. Okay, either it will be divided as 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, simple? Yes. Again, it's one of the easiest part to answer. Okay, there will be 5 questions. You have to pick only 3. Make sure you attend even the choice also. Okay? Yes. Guys, come on. Let's start with the first question of this is part 4th main is fully on physical chemistry, wherein we will get questions on solid state, solutions, electrochemistry, chemical kinetics, as well as surface chemistry. Okay? Yeah. So let's see what are the different types of questions that we have got to answer. So here comes the first one. Very well-known question, a common question, and yet a very important question. So you have to calculate the packing efficiency in cubic close packed structure. This is a 3 mark derivation. Calculate the packing efficiency in a cubic close packed. Cubic close packed is nothing but FCC. Okay, face centered cubic structure. So shall we understand how to calculate the packing efficiency? 3 marks. You have got to write all the steps. Yes, let us do it. Yeah, first please write the diagram for FCC. We know what is FCC, face centered cubic structure, which is nothing but CCP. So if this is a unit cell, if this is the unit cell, please write the way I write it. Okay, yeah, don't change anything. Yes, let us say if this is an unit cell. Okay, if this is a unit cell. Okay, what is FCC? See, an unit cell is said to be FCC, face centered cubic lattice. If the particles in FCC, there will be particles at the corners of the unit cell, isn't it? There will be particles at the corners of the unit cell, and also there will be particles at the centers of each faces, right? There will be particles at the centers of each faces like this, isn't it? There are 6 faces and 8 corners. So particles are present at the corners as well as at the centers of each faces. Okay, let us not write all the face centered particles. Let me consider only one face centered particle. Okay, so I am going to consider only one face centered particle, but the particles are present at the centers of each faces. I'm not showing it here. That's it. okay, because the diagram seems to be very complex. Okay, well, now students, let us call the corner particles as A, B, C, D. Look at here. I'm going to call the corner particles as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Let the face centered particle be somewhat K. Let K be the face centered particle. Okay, let K be the face centered particle. Now let us concentrate on the derivation. Look at here. So I'll make some generalization here. See, let, okay, well, okay, just a minute. I'll change the color of the pen. Yes, okay, 1 minute. Okay, see, let me make some generalizations. What is that? Let A be the edge length. Let A be the edge length. Edge length. What is this? Edge length means the distance from this sphere to this sphere is A. So since this is a cubic lattice, we know all the edges will be of same length. So if this edge length is A, this edge length is also going to be A, and this edge length will also be A. All the edges are of same length. Okay, let A be the edge length. Next, let R be the radius of each sphere. Radius of each sphere. Let R be the radius of each sphere. So in solid state chemistry, we have assumed all the spheres of same shape, size and mass. So if R is the radius of one sphere, then R will be the radius of each sphere, because all spheres are assumed to be of same length, same size, shape and mass. Okay, now we know that, okay, in face centered cubic lattice, in FCC, that is in CCP, okay, corner particles will not touch each other. What is it? Corner particles will not touch each other. Will not touch each other. Corner particles will not touch each other. That means A will not touch B, B will not touch F, F will not touch E. So corner particles will not touch each other, but the corner particles will touch face centered particles. Face centered particles. Corner particles will not touch each other, but corner particles will touch what? Face centered particles. That means A will touch K, K will touch F, just like this. This is particle A, corner particle. This is K, which is a face centered particle, and this is F, again a corner particle. So corner particle will touch the face centered particle, corner top particle will touch the face centered particle, but corner particles will not touch each other. So we know the radius of this sphere is R, this is again R, this is again R, and this is again R. So what is the total distance between AF? What is the total distance between AF? AF is nothing but R plus R plus R plus R, which is 4R, correct? Okay, so the distance between AF is 4R. 4R. Correct, students? AF is 4R. Now, let us take the triangle AFB. Let us consider the triangle AFB. Yes. Let us consider the triangle AFB. How is it? It is like this, right? So, this is particle A, particle F and particle B. Let us consider the triangle AFB. Now, in the triangle AFB, we know hypotenuse AF square is equal to, okay, AB square plus BF square. Am I correct? Yeah, we have applied Pythagoras theorem, a simple Pythagoras theorem. AF square is equal to AB square plus BF square. Just now we got to know AF is how much? 4R. So AF is 4R the whole square is equal to, what is AB? AB is nothing but edge length, BF is nothing but edge length. So A square plus A square, correct? So 4R is equal to square root of A square plus A square is 2A square. So I can just say 4R is equal to square root of 2 into A. Hence A is equal to 4R by root 2, or I can also write it as 2 root 2R. Hope you know maths. Okay? Yes. We got edge length. Now comes, okay, we know volume of unit cell is nothing but volume of cube, because we have taken U now. What type of unit cell? Cubic unit cell. So volume of cube. Volume of cube is length into length into length. Okay, that is A into A is A cube, because edge length is taken as A, right? And what is A? 2 root 2R the whole cube, correct? That's good. Now, yeah, how many number of particles are there in FCC or CCP? Number of spheres in FCC is equal to 4. There will be 4 particles, correct? Volume of one sphere, maths again, volume of one sphere is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube, correct? Whereas therefore volume of 4 spheres is equal to how much? 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube, that is nothing but 16 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, now let us apply the formula for packing efficiency. What is the formula for packing efficiency? Okay, yes, packing efficiency is given by the formula volume of all spheres divided by volume of cube into 100. How many spheres are there? 4 spheres. Therefore, it is nothing but volume of 4 spheres. How much is the volume of 4 spheres? It is 16 by 3 pi r cube. And we know volume of cube. How much did we get? Volume of cube 2 into root 2 r the whole cube, isn't it? Volume of cube 2 root 2 r the whole cube into 100. So you calculate this, you will get packing efficiency equal to 74%. Okay, how much? If you calculate this, you will get the packing efficiency as how much? 74%. Okay, so you have to be very patient enough and write each and every step. And this question is fully for how many marks? 3 marks question. Okay, you have to write all the steps if you want full 3 marks. Yes. Part B now. Part B, next question. Again, it's a problem. It's a problem again. Okay, the question is, an element having atomic mass 60 units. Okay, atomic mass is given 60 units and is telling FCC lattice. Okay, the edge length of the unit cell is 400 picometer. You have to calculate the density of the crystal. Okay, Avogadro's number is 6.022 into 10 power 23. By the way, what is the formula to calculate the density of the unit cell? Yeah, density of the unit cell is given by the formula Z into M divided by A cube into Na. See guys, if edge length is in picometer, make sure you'll multiply the denominator, okay, with 10 to the power of minus 30. Okay, if now density, if edge length is in picometer, you have to use 10 to the power of minus 30 in the denominator. So now what all is given? What is Z here? Number of particles, right? So how many number of particles for FCC is telling FCC? Okay, how many number of particles for FCC? 4. We know this. M is atomic mass or molecular mass. It is also given 60 units. Okay, edge length is given 400 picometer. You have to calculate density. Avogadro's number is given 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. So let us substitute everything. D is equal to Z is 4, atomic mass is 60 divided by A cube is 400 picometer, and that means 400 the whole cube into 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 into 10 to the power of minus 30. Okay, let's solve this. D is equal to, okay, 4 into 60 is 240, correct, divided by, 10 to the power of 23 into 10 to the power of minus 30 is 10 to the power of minus 7. So now 400 the whole cube. Okay, yes, 400 the whole cube. Please be careful. Yeah, into 6.023 or 6.022. Yes, 6.022. Okay, let us make it accurate. We will be getting 385. Okay, 408,000. So let's just calculate fully. Yes, 240 divided by 385,408,000. So you are getting 6.277. okay, yes, gram per centimeter cube. Don't forget to write the unit of density. Don't forget to write the unit of density. What is the unit of density? It's gram per centimeter cube. So writing the formula, okay, for the formula you will get 1 mark. For substitution, 1 mark. Okay, for the correct answer with the correct unit, 1 mark. So total 3 marks. Basically it is 3 marks, but in this model question paper it has been asked for 2 marks. Okay, yeah, that's it. Hope you understood. Very nice. So the answer, the density of this unit cell is 6.2277 gram per centimeter cube. Fantastic. Okay students, next is from solutions. Again there is a problem. Yeah, look at this. Is telling addition of 0.643 gram of a compound to 50 ml of a liquid of density 0.879 gram per ml lowers the freezing point from 5.51 degree centigrade to 5.3 degree centigrade. You have to calculate the molar mass of the compound. Given Kf for benzene is 5.12 Kelvin kg per mole. All the relevant data is given. Only thing you have to apply the formula and get the answer. So which formula are you going to use? So I have a liquid. Okay, volume of that liquid is 50 ml. The density of that liquid is 0.879 gram per ml. To that liquid I am going to add 0.643 gram of a compound. Now the freezing point of the liquid, okay, decreases from 5.51 to 5.3 degree centigrade. So you have to calculate the molar mass. Okay, which formula? Okay, by looking at the problem itself you can guess the formula. Yeah, it is, okay, depression in freezing point. You have to use the formula for depression in freezing point. You have to use the formula of depression in freezing point. What is that formula? Delta TF is equal to TF naught minus TF, which is equal to KF into WA into 1000 divided by WB into MA. Okay, into MA. Yes. So you should know each and every the designations here. So TF naught means, okay, freezing point of pure solvent, right, which is given as how much? Yeah, let us change the pen now. It is given 5.51 degrees centigrade, and TF is freezing point of solution. How much it is given? It is 5.3 degrees centigrade. Kf is given 5.12 Kelvin kg per mole. What is WA? Please remember in this, okay, formula, A is solute, B is solvent. Okay, A is solute, B is solvent. Please remember in this formula. So WA's mass of solute is given how much? 0.643 gram. Okay, but WB is not given. WB, okay, that is volume of the weight, mass of the liquid is not given. We know WB is density divided by volume, isn't it? Okay, sorry, density is equal to mass by volume. Okay, sorry. Yes. So, okay, if I just say, yeah, okay, it is density into volume. Look at here, density is given how much? 0.879. 0.879 into volume is given how much? 50 ml. So you'll get WB. Okay, 0.879 into 50. 0.879 into 50. So it is 43.95 gram. 95 gram. So everything is there. You just have to substitute and calculate the molar mass. Can we also calculate delta TF? Delta TF is TF naught how much? 5.51 minus TF 5.3. So this is going to be how much? 5.51 minus 5.3. It's going to be 0.21. Delta TF is 0.21. So let us substitute everything we have now. So we want MA, right? So can we modify the formula? KF into WA into 1000 divided by WB into delta TF. So KF is given as KF is 5.12. KF is 5.12. WA is 0.643 into 1000. WB, how much did we get? Okay, WB 43.95. 43.95, and delta TF we got it as 0.21. So just simple calculations we can calculate. Okay, how much? Yeah, 5.12 into 0.643 into 1000 is equal to this much divided by 43.95, yes, divided by 0.21. So the answer you're getting as 356.69 gram per mole. Gram per mole. Okay, 356.69 gram per mole. This is the answer. Okay, simple. Yes, I hope everybody has got it. Yeah, again here also for formula 1 mark. Okay, for substitution and calculation 1 mark. For the answer with the correct unit 1 mark. Okay, yeah, next question. Write any two differences between ideal and non-ideal. Any two differences, so 2 marks. Okay, yeah, again there are 3 or more differences between ideal and non-ideal solutions, but is asking you to write only 2 differences. So let us write. Let us write all the differences. You can pick anyone among them. So I have ideal solution, and the other one is non-ideal solution. Non-ideal solution. Ideal solution, non-ideal solution. So ideal solution we know, okay, obeys Raoult's law, right? Obeys Raoult's law. Whereas non-ideal solution does not obey Raoult's law. Does not obey Raoult's law. Yes. Idea for ideal solution, PA is equal to xi A PA naught, and PB is equal to xi B PB naught. This equation holds good. Whereas for non-ideal solution, PA is not equal to xi A PA naught, and PB is not equal to xi B PB naught, isn't it? Yeah, for non-ideal solution. For this, enthalpy of mixing is 0. For this, enthalpy of mixing is not equal to 0. For this, volume of mixing is equal to 0. For this, okay, volume of mixing is not equal to 0. Fifth one, okay, I hope you can see this here. For this, okay, yeah, force of interaction between solute will be same as, okay, solute solvent, okay, solvent and also solute. Okay, here the force of interaction is different. Force of interaction is different, right? Interaction is different. Force of interaction is different. So I have written 5 differences. You just have to write 2 differences. Please don't consider these 2, or else okay, you can just write a mark. You can write this, you can write this and this. Okay, please make it a point. Okay, please write accurate answers. Okay, fine. So this completes the questions from solutions. Let us see, the next questions might be from electrochemistry, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, of course. The next question is from electrochemistry. Yeah. Again, it's a problem. It's a 3 marks problem. The standard electrode potential of Daniell cell is 1.1 volts. Standard electrode potential, okay, of Daniell cell is 1.1 volts. That means is given for Daniell cell, E0 cell is 1.1 volts. Okay, you have to calculate the standard Gibbs free energy change. You have to calculate delta G0. Okay, for this reaction. What is the formula for delta G0 and E0 cell? We have a simple formula. Delta G0 is equal to minus NF E0 cell, isn't it? Yeah. Delta G0 is equal to minus NF E0 cell. Correct. What is N? Number of electrons change. Please do remember, for Daniell cell, N is always equal to 2, because zinc will liberate 2 electrons, copper will take 2 electrons. Zinc loses 2 electrons and gets oxidized to zinc 2 plus. Copper will accept 2 electrons and gets reduced to Cu. So the number of electrons changes 2 in Daniell cell. Faraday is a constant, you know this better, 96,500 coulomb. E0 cell is given. Can we calculate delta G0? Yeah, very simple. Therefore, delta G0 is equal to minus 2 into 96,500 coulombs into 1.1 volts. Therefore, delta G0 is equal to, yeah, yes, 2 into 96,500 into 1.1. Yeah, we are getting, okay, minus 212 300 joules. Minus 212 300 joules. So this is the answer. Very simple for 3 marks. Again, for formula 1 mark, for substitution 1 mark, for the correct answer with the unit 1 mark. If you don't write the unit, you're going to lose 1 mark. Better write it. Okay? Yeah, simple. That's good. Next question. Sub question for 2 marks might be, write any 2 factors affecting ionic conductance. 2 marks, 2 factors. What are the factors that affect ionic conductance? Yeah, there are so many factors like concentration of the solution, or concentration of the electrolytic solution. Anything? Electrolytic solution. This is one thing, one factor. Concentration of the electrolytic solution. Second factor is temperature. Okay, please do remember. Okay, so more the concentration, yes, lesser will be the ionic conductance. Lesser will be what? Ionic conductance. Okay, yes, more the temperature, more will be ionic conductance. More is going to be what? Ionic conductance. That means to say, concentration is inversely proportional to ionic conductance. Temperature is directly proportional to ionic conductance. More the concentration, lesser is the ionic conductance. More the temperature, more is the ionic conductance. Simple. So this completes 3 full questions from solids, solutions and electrochemistry. Now, next questions might be from chemical kinetics. Of course it is. Okay, derive the integrated rate equation for first order reaction. Yeah, okay. Among 0 order and first order, one question is compulsory for 3 marks. In this model question paper, it has been asked for 4 marks. Yeah, 4 marks. Yeah. Derive the integrated rate equation for first order reaction. Shall we? Okay, first order reaction. Okay, please follow the steps. Let R gives rise to P, that means reactants to products, be a first order reaction. First order reaction. Let R gives rise to P be a first order reaction. We know, okay, the rate, differential rate law can be given as minus d by dt of concentration of R, and we know how to write the rate equation for first order. For first order, R is equal to, yeah, K into concentration of R to the power 1, because it's a first order reaction. Good. Now, let us put the like terms together. So let us consider these two. Minus d by dt of concentration of R is equal to K into anything to the power 1 is the same, right? Okay. Let us put the like terms together. Let us send minus sign to this side and dt to this side. So, and let us bring, okay, concentration of R to this side. So, we will get 1 by R is equal into dr. I am sending this minus sign to this side, K and dt to this side. Okay, call this as equation 1. Okay, students. Now, let us integrate equation 1 on both the sides. Yeah, let us integrate equation 1 on both the sides. What do we get? Yeah, integration of, 1 minute. Yes. Integration of 1 by R into dr is equal to, see students, here minus we can't integrate, K is a constant, we can't integrate, so we can only integrate dt. Okay, so I will take minus and K outside and we will integrate only dt. So we know the formula of integration. What is that? Integration of 1 by x into dx is ln x, isn't it? And integration of dt is t. Okay, so integration of 1 by r into dr is ln of r, which is equal to minus integration of dt is t, and we have to add an integration constant because it is an indefinite integral. Call this as equation 2. Now we have to find out the integration constant, value of the integration constant. For that, what I want to do is, okay, when time is equal to 0, we know that concentration of the reactant will be known as the initial concentration, isn't it? So if I substitute, what do I get? Ln R naught is equal to minus k into 0 plus I. Therefore, we will get I as ln R naught, isn't it? Call this as equation 3. Now, let us substitute equation 3 in equation 2. Okay, yes, substitute ln R is equal to minus kt plus ln R naught, right? Okay. Again, I'll bring the like terms together. I'll send this kt to the left hand side and ln R to the right hand side. Therefore, we'll end up with, okay, I'll continue here. So I'll send, okay, kt to the left hand side, it will become plus kt ln R naught. If I send ln R to this side, it becomes minus ln R. Okay, ln means natural logarithm, that is log to base e. So ln m minus ln n is, we know, ln m minus ln n is ln m by n. Okay, yeah. Now convert natural logarithm to common logarithm. How do you convert natural logarithm to common logarithm? By multiplying with 2.303, isn't it? Yeah, log. Ln is natural logarithm. LOG means common logarithm. Natural logarithm log to base e. Common logarithm log to base 10. So finally, send this t to the right hand side. We will be getting t is equal to 2.303 by t log, k is equal to 2.303 by t log of R naught divided by R. So this is the integrated rate equation for first order reaction. Integrated rate equation for first order reaction. Simple? Okay. So if you follow all these steps, you will be getting 4 marks. This has been asked for 4 marks. Okay, good. Please follow all the steps. Okay. Next question, sub question from the same chapter, that is chemical kinetics. Which step of the reaction mechanism decides the order of the reaction? Very simple question. Order of a reaction in a complex reaction. We know complex reaction takes place in one or more steps, right? Complex reaction takes place in one or more steps, out of which some steps are slow and some steps are fast. We know we will write the rate of, okay, a complex reaction for the slowest step, isn't it? That is why we call the slowest step is the rate determining step. Which step of the reaction mechanism decides the order of reaction in a complex reaction? Yeah, slowest step. Okay, we call it as rate determining step. Okay, rate determining step. 1 mark question, such a simple question. Rate determining step. Slowest step is called as the rate determining step. Which step of the reaction mechanism decides the order of a reaction in a complex reaction? It is the slowest step. A complex reaction means, okay, look here. What do you mean by a complex reaction? A reaction which takes place in one or more steps, right? A reaction which takes place in one or more steps. More steps is called as a complex reaction. Out of one or more steps, some steps are slow and the other steps are fast. The slowest step, we write the rate of the reaction using the slowest step. When we write the rate of the reaction, we can define the order of the reaction, isn't it? So therefore, the slowest step is called as the rate determining step. 1 mark, that's it. You have to write this slowest step. Okay. Finally, the last question from physical chemistry. How does free energy and entropy changes? This is from surface chemistry. The last question is from surface chemistry. How does free energy and entropy change during adsorption? Yes, what is the answer? We know free energy. Okay, yes, during adsorption, free energy decreases. Yes, yeah, entropy also decreases. Entropy decreases. Yes. Now, if they ask you about enthalpy, enthalpy also decreases. All the three will decrease. Free energy decreases. Entropy decreases. Enthalpy decreases. Free energy decreases means, free energy decreases means what? Okay, free energy decreases. Delta G is negative. Entropy decreases means delta S is negative. Enthalpy decreases means delta H is negative. Why free energy decreases? Because we know adsorption is adsorption is what? A spontaneous process, isn't it? Yeah, adsorption is spontaneous. Okay, so sorry, this pen is not visible. Just a minute. Okay, I'm selecting the pen. Yeah, so since adsorption, adsorption is spontaneous. Okay, yes, we know for a spontaneous process, Gibbs free energy decreases. Okay, we know adsorption leads to decrease in randomness. Decrease in randomness, that is why we say entropy decreases. Hence delta G is also negative. And we know adsorption is exothermic. Exothermic. So heat is liberated, therefore enthalpy of the system decreases, right? So all the three will decrease. So you are supposed to write only 2. That is free energy decreases, entropy also decreases. Why free energy decreases? Because adsorption is a spontaneous process. And why entropy decreases? Because adsorption leads to decrease in randomness. Simple. Okay, this is for 2 marks because they asked you 2. Okay, next up question. What is coagulating value? What is coagulating value? Just write the answer. Okay, what is coagulating value? Look at here. The number of millimoles of electrolyte. Number of millimoles of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of the number of millimoles of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter of colloid 1 liter of colloid in 2 hours is called as coagulating value. Is called as coagulating value, isn't it? It is called as coagulating value. The number of millimoles of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of 1 liter of colloid in 2 hours is called as coagulating value. So this is 1 mark. What is coagulating value? Okay. Now in this there is a second part. What is it? The coagulating value of A is 2.4 into 10 to the power of minus 3. That is nothing but 0.0024, right? Okay. Whereas moles per liter. Whereas the coagulating value of B is 1.2 into 10 to the power of minus 2. That is nothing but 0.012. So please do remember, okay, yeah, he has given two coagulating values, so you have to calculate, we have to just say which one has higher coagulating power, which one has higher coagulating power. See, please remember, okay, yes, lesser the coagulating value, coagulating value, more will be the coagulating power, more will be the coagulating power, isn't it? So among A and B, which one has lowest coagulating power value? So it is A. So A has least coagulating value, hence more coagulating power. That's it. So what is the answer? Okay, yeah. Please write somewhere here. So lesser the coagulating value, more will be the coagulating power. So A has lesser coagulating value, therefore it has more coagulating power. So let me write it. Don't get confused. What is the answer? So A has more coagulating power. Lesser the coagulating value, more will be the coagulating power. More will be the coagulating power, isn't it? So A has more coagulating power. That's nice. Okay, got the answer? Yes. Okay, great students. Okay, now, okay, the last question from 4th main. What is Kraft's temperature? 1 mark question. Have you heard of Kraft's temperature? Where do you come across Kraft's temperature? Yes, it is in associated colloids where we talk about micelles, isn't it? So what is Kraft's temperature? It is the temperature, above which micelles are formed. It is the temperature above which micelles are formed. Is called as Kraft's temperature, TK. That's it. It's the temperature above which micelles are formed. Below that temperature, no micelles are formed. So it is the temperature above which micelles are formed is called as Kraft's temperature. Okay, students. I hope we have successfully completed all the questions. Hope you have understood thoroughly. Hope you have followed. Okay, so please keep watching. In the next video, we'll take up the last part, that is the 5 mark questions from organic chemistry. Okay, thank you so much.